Okay. So, 1 second. I'm just trying to fix one thing here. My God. Okay, what we're gonna do? Go to your machine. I would say just do a little bit setting and make sure that it is ready for connection. Uh, just yeah, server. You install server 2, and there, if you go to the adapter setting, keep the machine off if you can, and then from setting, so go to the network. And network, there you're going to select what is the current setting you have?
I have bridged.
You have Bridget. Okay, so this
I
is what
have
I
net.
would. Okay, what I suggest you make it to the. Can you see my screen? Bridget adapter, and then just make sure the advance is looks fine like this. So select your the port in. I think we can pick up wireless setting, okay? And then say okay, and check out the other machine. Check out the other machine as well, and check other servers as well under the setting, just in case if you don't have the Bridget connection there. And the client machine, you set it up. Okay. So if you have set your, uh, so what I can suggest you, but turn on both servers. We need to make them communicate with each other, right? So turn on your server, which you have set it up for DNS. I need to check one thing at my side. I turned off my screen share, but don't worry, I know that. Uh, okay, what is my intention for today is according to the plan. I'll walk you through this lab setup. This is your lab 3. Um, We'll try to complete it today. If I have this one on my system, just trying to get it up. 1 second. Should be there. Okay. So we're going to configure both server. And what I can suggest you, if you can turn on one server or both if your machine resource allows to turn the both server on at a time. But DNS should be up, and because that's going to take care of the network connection. Find out your IP addresses, what you're getting from your host computer. So you know how to get the IP address from host computer. Uh, you can run it IP config all to any of the machine, or first run it on your host machine. Host machine. Check it out at host machine. From the command prompt, if you go to the command prompt cmd, run cmd. So make a note of IP address your host machine has, IPv4 address, and the DNS or gateway IP address. Please make a note of it on your notebook. We need that information to configure a virtual machine. So did you get the IP address? So what is the IP address for your host machine? You can go to your host machine and run. Host machine means your main machine, right? From there you can run IP config all. So this will give you the configuration at your host machine. Do the same thing on there. Run cmd, and there you're going to type in ipconfig/all. So what I suggest you, do you have a notebook with you? Piece of
Yes, ma'am.
paper. Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
mom.
Thank you. So what I suggest you note down the IP address from your host machine. Host machine means you go this corner, Windows 10 corner. Okay, left corner of your computer screen, not to the virtual, to the physical one. And just note it down what you have it for IPv4. Let me make it bigger. So note it down. Default gateway, right? Default gateway. This is the IP address of this is a private IP address actually 192.168. You remember we discussed those things yesterday. So this is the private because ISP provider mask your IP address from outer world, right? So when you go outside your machine or computer via the internet, so your IP provider, ISP provider will change your private IP address to the public IP address. You understand what I mean, right? So then you can communicate to the internet over the network, right? For internal, this is something what you can see like 192.168, something like this. So get this IP address, make a note of it for your host from your host machine.
Ma'am, it shows blanks in my default getaway.
Hmm?
It doesn't show the address.
Doesn't show address.
Yeah, in like default getaway.
Yes,
Doesn't
ma'am. Mine also.
doesn't show anything there.
No,
Okay, no
ma'am.
worries. No
No,
worries.
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
don't.
mom.
Okay, don't worry. I'll take care. So I'm just making note of mine configuration so I can use it for DNS. I'm gonna change it. DNS 192 dot. Right now my DNS is same as uh, uh, my default gateway. All you need to do, go to this corner, right? Left corner. If you're using Windows 10, your physical machine, right? So run CMD. Are you on this page? This is different from this. This is on my server 2012, and this is my Windows 10 screen. So there you're going to run ipconfig, just like I did on because I know my configuration on this machine. So slash, okay, if you go like this, you would see the options, what options you can use with ipconfig. This is a command line utility, CLI utility. We call it command line utility. So here you can see the options, right? Slash all, slash renew, slash flush DNS, show class ID, set class ID. Well, the most commonly used configure options we're going to use in this course. And whenever you need to perform check your IP configuration, you can use ipconfig slash all, or you can use slash renew if you need to renew the IP lease with your DHCP server, or you can use flash DNS. Okay, did you get to this page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So release means you ask to release the IP address from your one of the adapter, or you can request a renew release from the DHCP server, or you can flush the DNS entry, the DNS server entry, DNS server flush entry, because the information like what you have recently visited website addresses would be there, right? So what I want you to run ipconfig/all and check out the IP address and default gateway information. This is my my host machine information. DHCP, you make a note of those two things. So it be starting. Is it starting from 192.168? 192.168.
No, ma'am. It's starting from 10.0.0.
Okay. So that is also class A, class AI, member class that it should.
It's the default IP of my router, so that's why it's starting from 10.0.0.
Well, not a point of should or it not necessary. This is all the host machine is this information is coming from your, from your ISP provider, right? So let me open what we discussed yesterday. Uh, Remember the IP range we discussed earlier, right? So this is something about the private address block, right? So you cannot just have the public address, public IP addresses because of the constraints the ISP provider place. So they basically change your IP address when you reach to their router uh, for internet services. So it could be 10.0 dot something like this, or 172 or 192.168. Those are the three options, right? I'm not sure in your India IP addresses. They might be using this one or this one for your host machine. So as you mentioned yesterday that you all have the configuration for this one. If you get to Ethernet, and you said yes, you said that this is something enabled, right? So this is what you have it on your host machine, correct? All of you, with some exceptional, but most of you have this first option selected, right? So is that correct?
Ma'am.
Yes. Well, you need to be responsive. Otherwise, I won't be able to help you, to be honest. If you guys stay quiet, then it means either you don't want to do it or you don't want me to help you. So my problem is I want the input from you peoples. Well, I can straight go ahead without knowing what's going on at your end, right? Many people do like this. It will save a lot of my time and effort. right? So select this. So all of you have this option selected. Say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first one
Yes,
is
ma'am.
okay. So what we're going to do with this one, it means you're getting the IP address from your service provider, right? So service provider DHCP server, right? So they have their DHCP lease, and it's giving you the lease IP address on lease, right? So check it out here. So make a note of this. Make a note of this. You know, IPv4 address. So I'm getting like on lease every day I get from my ISP. So this one. So where does it say IPv4 address? So you note it down in your class C subnet mask is there, and make a note of. I need you to note those two information. That's it. Okay, once you get this information noted, what I can suggest you, go back to your virtual machine on server, your server 2, and server 2, and run the same IP config there. So you would be having same gateway because you have changed it to the NAT connection. NAT connection means actually you're borrowing configuration from your host machine, right? So NAT will, the Bridget connection will basically bridge the IP address, between your service provider network. Can I X out this one? So your service provider network, this is your main computer, right? Your host machine, right? Your Windows 10 machine. And it is connected to internet. Basically, it is connected to internet, right? So what we're doing with the Bridget connection, your virtual machine server is here. Right? Basically, it's a part of it, right? So when you had chosen Bridget, so it make a tunnel or bridge from virtual machine, from your virtual machine to ISP network. So if it is in 192 dot 168, or in my case 192.168 dot 2.1, right? So this is when you bridge it, then it's going to be on same network, right? 192.168.2.x. So X can be your choice. X can be your choice. So you have virtual machine 1 here. So you have virtual machine 2 here, VM2, and then you have virtual machine 3 here, right? Correct? So you have 3 virtual machines. Your server 1 and 2, and your client machine, right? Okay, so okay, so this one, so what you're going to do, so So this X is going to be changed. So make a note of this. What did you get there? Everybody get the IP address for their host machine? This one? Kind, whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
excellent. How about gateway?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, read it.
Yes,
I got the
ma'am. Yes,
gateway as
ma'am.
well, ma'am.
Yeah,
I
have the
also, ma'am.
have the gateway. It's right there. IPv4
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Oh,
default
ma'am,
gateway.
what was the command, ma'am? It was iconfig and /all, right?
Yes.
Oh, but it was
It
blank.
was IP config.
Yeah,
IP config.
Yeah.
yeah, bro.
So if you be, yeah, that's okay. You can listen music, but you may lose your focus. Kapil. So try to focus.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
but
you'll be wasting your time. I did it here. IP config.
it's the same, ma'am.
Okay, good.
But there's no,
Doesn't work.
no, ma'am.
Really. Call Microsoft. You know, if this command doesn't work, it means that's the problem with the Microsoft commands,
IP
right?
config.
This is the command prompt commands, CLI
What?
commands. So
IP
please check the
what?
D2L for the list of the command I posted there.
What?
Okay, so once you get this information, now go to your server one, right? So what we're going to do, I think we better go first to server two. So you need to take the screenshot as well as you're working on this lab. Make a heading of the under the Word document, lab 3, TCP IP setting and network configuration for connectivity on server Windows Server 2012. So server 20 Windows Server on Windows, you can simply say on Windows because we're going to work with the server and client as well. So you better simply say on Windows operating system connectivity with the Windows operating system machine. Okay, so have the setting. Step 1, configured VM for Bridget connection for 3 machines. You did it already. You can take the screenshot at this point. And then checking the TCP/IP configuration on server 1, server 2, and client machine 1. And then what I suggest you first go to server 2. I think I am on server. This is your server 2, right? So you go there and you're going to make some changes. How you can do that? You go to the local server and you can just simply click on this Ethernet setting, right click it, and then you can Okay, have the setting on your computer, okay? This all depend upon, okay, what I suggest for this last digit. Um, the last digit would be the last number of your student ID. This last digit. So you get this one from your host machine up to here, right? Network ID. We're going to keep the same network ID as your host machine network ID. Okay. And only changes is the last digit. Did you get my point?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
For instance, my student ID or employee ID, whatever would you like to refer? I don't remember, but I did save it here, right? So this one. So something like this number last digit. So if it is last two digit, last two digit. If it is zero, then you can have added one there then, or you can have added 10 there. If it is zero, if last digit is zero, then you can add the last under the last digit. Let me go to this one. No, I close this. I close this. And this one too. So this one. So this is your last two digit of your student ID. You understand what I mean? And this is going to be the same as, because this is your DNS server, right? So this DNS server IP would be the same as the server 2 IP address. If it is not clear, please type in say yes or no if it is clear. You can put up your hand. Please put up your hand if it is clear. If it is not, so make sure that you are entering an IP address. Up to here, it is your host machine network. Keep the host machine network as it is, just in case. Okay. So put up your hand if it is clear. You understand this configuration. Please go fast. I need a quick input, please. You cannot just spend too much time. Okay, only okay. So what is not clear on this part, on this page? What is not clear? Well, I cannot read your mind, right? Because of the virtual setup. Maybe if we are facing, then I could. Anyways, so what is what confusion you have with this page? You just select the use following IP. You're manually configuring it. I explained it those things yesterday in detail. Just because we can run this lab smoothly.
Ma'am, do we have to use the same subnet mask or leave it automatic?
Just no, you go with the class C subnet mask because
My
you
subnet mask is 255.0.0.0.
what is your network ID of your host computer?
Ma'am, 10.0.0.195.
That is your who is talking?
Akash Deep Singh, ma'am.
Okay, Akash, the 10 dot. Okay, 10.0.0. Okay, then
Yes,
you
ma'am.
start from 10 dot from here. You start from 10. Keep the same IP, private IP.
But ma'am, when
Then
I
you go with the 0.0.0 here.
okay, ma'am.
You go with the class A IP address. Well, it depends on what setting you have it, right? You only have that's why I explained you yesterday in detail. So you can manipulate the changes and adapt it according to your system. Shall I move on to the next step, right? So I hit OK here. So this is my default gateway, what I have it in mind from my service provider. So you don't enter this number. Don't just copy it, please.
Ma'am,
not-
we have to take screenshot of this.
Well, I'll ask you at no. I'll ask you at this point later. You get to this point. You when you ping it, that will be so make a note of this IP address, your student IP. Yes, you can take the screenshot of this. So what is the X? Remember, X is your last 2 digit of your student ID. Okay, so X is last 2 digit. Which document I was working with? Did I close it? No. So this X is, oops, this, excuse me. So yeah, you need to prove your work by taking the screenshot. So for instance, 192.168.2, if you have, this is your network ID. So follow your network ID of your host computer. Network ID of your host computer, right?
And I'm having problem with the default gateway. It's not-
And subnet mask of um, so you adapt if it is 10 dot whatever. So check your subnet mask. If it is class A subnet mask, class B or class C. So you take that subnet mask. Or whatever the network ID you provide me here, and X is last X is your student ID. Last 2 digit of your student ID. Okay, makes sense?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Kapil, how can I help you?
Same problem, ma'am.
What is the problem?
This is like this was blank in gateway.
So what you want me to do?
How do I resolve this, ma'am? How do I like solve this?
I don't understand. What did you say?
How do I solve this?
How to solve this? Okay. This is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me look at your computer. Okay, is that okay? You want me
Okay.
to check your computer? This
Yeah.
is what I'm understanding, because so I had saved my configuration. You take the screenshot of this page. Okay, if you take the screenshot of this page, I can see your IP setting now. Here it's not anymore automatic because we had configured it. Okay, so you take the screenshot.
Ma'am, we have to assign the IP to server 2 only or server 1 also.
Well, we're going to repeat it for one with two other machines. So you can start your server 2, server 1, sorry, you are already on server 1, so start your server 2. So you are already on server 2, right? And you go to the server 1 and repeat this step with the server 1. By the time you guys are repeating it, I'll check the Kapil configuration. Is that okay? So you understand what you're doing, what you're going to do on server number 1. So all you need to have, you need to keep the both server on. Kapil, I send you an invitation to share your screen if you like to share with me. Okay, go slowly, please. Go slowly. Let me check. So go up, scroll it up, scroll it up. Okay. So you have their IPv4 address. IPv4 address. Make a note of this.
Yeah,
192.168.0.177.
this one.
No, not here. Not here. This one at the bottom. The LAN adapter, Wi-Fi adapter. So you have this IP address. So copy this one. Make a note of this.
I have done that, ma'am.
Okay. Then what is the problem then? And make a note of this default gateway
This
also.
one?
Yes.
Oh, oh.
This
Got it.
is this is gateway in IPv6. The one at the top in FE80, this is IPv6 address. Yes, you have both configuration. Every adapter now work with two configurations. So take the IPv4 address. V6, well, it is for your information. I'll give you more thought about V6 in later on discussion. So just pick the V4 address for now. I think you're okay. I can get my screen back. Okay.
Like, ma'am, this one is ready for, right?
This is your gateway address.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, ma'am.
And make a note of this subnet mask as well.
Sure, ma'am. ये बजाउन बन्द गर न।
Okay, you get it done up to here. So repeat this step for machine 2, your server 1.
Now we have to assign the same IP address.
No, not same IP address. That's a good point. Well, you check it. Your student ID cannot going to be changed, right? So all you can do, you can just add 1 there.
Okay, ma'am. But ma'am, one is my default gateway.
Really? The last
Yes, ma'am. 10.0.0.1.
.0.1 is for gateway, and what is the IP you had given to your server 2?
Miss 10.0.0.95.
95. So 95, I said just add 1. 95, what comes after 95?
Okay, ma'am. 96.
96. That's going to be your server 1 IP address. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
And similarly for client machine, what it comes after, you can add 1 more or just add 2 in your server 2 configuration. So 95, it is .95, then it can be 97 because 96 already be occupied. Okay. Clear? Yes. Okay, I'll be right back in 1 minute. You complete the configuration on server 1 in client machine exactly the way you did it on server 2. Okay, don't forget to take the screenshot of this page for server 1 in client machine as well. Okay, so my client machine has a different page, but I'll tell you, just complete it for server 1. Yes. Have completed server 1. You can pull down your hands and just verify if you have completed server 1 as well. Okay, how's going? Completed the configuration. Please complete the IP configuration on all the 3 machines you have. Windows machine. Are you working on it or you had already completed? So you can put up your hand if you're done with all the 3. And the last page need to be recorded in a screenshot, like local server page for server machine. In client machine, you can just copy the IP config page for client machine. So we need to go a little bit faster, please. Keep me updated. Shall I wait for 5 more minutes? Then I will move on to the next step. Is that okay? 5 minutes to complete your all the configuration, the all 2, 3, server 1, server 2, and client machine. Complete the IP configuration.
Ma'am, in Windows 7, we have to do the same as server 1 and server 2.
Correct. Correct.
And can I share my screen again? Oh,
What's wrong? What is wrong? Ask verbally because it saves time, right?
it says the default gateway is not on the same network segment.
Yeah,
Basically,
you need to have the same network segment. I told you keep the same network segment. What is the networks your you know what? So please pay attention if you can. I told you this network ID is your host machine ID, whatever it is. It's 10.1 or 10.0 or whatever the 3 digits, 3 octet, that's your host network ID. You're going to keep this one as it is. And your subnet mask, your default gateway, that is same as your from your host machine. You guys understand what I said? It's still confusing? I'm writing here, please. So network ID, host machine. So you run ipconfig all on your host machine. That is your Windows 10, whatever your main machine. Host means your physical machine, right? So network ID, get the network ID. You're going to keep network ID subnet mask because we are bridged the connection, subnet mask and what else? Gateway, default gateway. So this is going to be same for your all the three machines, virtual machines and host machine. Do you understand it? So for instance, if your subnet network ID is 192.168.2, so how do you say that this is network ID? Because your subnet mask looks like then like this. If it is not the subnet mask for class C, you have a class A, then follow along that class A format. Okay. And whatever the so network, this ID and this should be in the same network. Otherwise, it won't work for you. .2 or whatever dot. I have something like .2, .1. Yeah, that is for my machine, but you don't need to copy this number for your machine. You follow along your host machine configuration.
How to
Go ahead.
how to change it in Windows 7?
Okay, so you all set with server 1 and server 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, very good. So next is to configure your host. So take this screenshot of server 1 and server 2 where I can see the IP address. Remember the last digit is your student ID for server 2, and for server 1 you just add 1 in this number. If it is 29, it would be 2930 or something like that. Okay. And then, okay. I think I was sharing my screen, right? Did you see what I said? This number. So take the screenshot of this and place it here by saying ipconfig for server 2. And similarly, you say ipconfig for at server 1. And then you give me the some similar screenshot, not the same, but with this one would be changed, right? And then you come to ipconfig. How much time is left? We just have the 25 minutes left, so try to be a little bit faster. ipconfig at client machine, Windows 7. It's not server, it's client. Windows 7 cannot be play the role of server. When I was grading lab 1, some people set up the Windows 7 on server machine, which is wrong because that may install it, but it won't work for you in long term. Okay, you get to your Windows 7, turn it on. You can turn off your server 1 if you're done with the configuration because maybe your system resources may not allow you to run 3 virtual machines at a time, but keep your DNS server running, which is your server 2, right? So keep DNS server running. You can turn off your other server. Right? Okay, so you are on Windows 7 machine, right? Everybody is on Windows 7. So what you're going to do? Okay, what you're going to do, go to the Windows 7 in Ethernet connection right at the corner, bottom corner. I think I showed you yesterday. So go to the internet connection. Let me shut down my server 1 for a moment so I can have only one machine. I'm turning off the server 1. So you turn off your server 1 because it is recommended, because it's gonna overload your host machine when you're running all the 3 machines together, right? So get to your Windows 7. So we are setting up a small network there. Okay. So you see the little right corner here. So open network and setting. So change adapter setting. Go to the local area network connection.
ਬਣਾਉਣੇ ਮਜਬੂਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਗੀਤਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਧੋਖੇ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਭ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਸੁਣੀ ਗੌਰ
So you go to v4 configuration. Well, this is something you're going to repeat this step, but in default gateway is going to be same. This is your server IP. Last digit is your server 2 IP address plus 2, because that is this number coming from your student ID, correct? This is from your student ID. So this is plus 2 server 2 ID plus 2. Just add it to there. For instance, if it is 23 there, so it is 25. And this number, this is the default gateway, the preferred DNS. This is your, what it would be. Someone can tell me, what do you think what it would be? Let me see if you're doing correctly or not. What did you enter for server 1 here? What did you enter for server 1 here? Hello? Am I talking to you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what you have entered for preferred DNS server for server 1?
Same as IP address.
No, it should be the IP address of server 2.
Oh,
Because your server 2 is your DNS server. You guys
Recommend-
following along? Yes.
we can put the IP address different, but like the preferred DNS server has to be of server 2.
Yes, this because you set it up DNS server here, right?
Yeah.
This is your DNS server. Server 2 is your DNS server. So the IP address, wherever you need to enter DNS IP, you should enter the IP address of this machine. This machine. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think we are pretty much done with most of the configuration. The only step is I want you to do. So you take this screenshot, first of all. You take this screenshot. And save it in the sequence what you have been making for the lab 3. Okay. And then, for instance, let me note down this address. 192.168.2.25. This is what I have it for now for my client machine. So it's no network. Okay. This is on server 29. Okay, I have to restart my client. Okay. Because I changed my DNS value. So next step is we going to verify the connectivity.
Oh. Sketch. Video.
So you're going to go back to your command prompt from one of the machines, for instance, server 2. So you're going to ping your Windows 7 machine.
But we have to perform ipconfig/all for Windows 7 or not?
Sorry.
We have to perform ipconfig/all in Windows 7 or not?
Well, you once assigned the values already, right? So you already have configured it, your machine on this side, right? Windows 7. This is where Windows 7 machine.
Yes, ma'am.
So you
Do
have
we have
take
to take the screenshot of ipconfig
yes
of
for
Windows
Windows
7?
7. Windows 7 because you don't have the local server on this page is not there because it's not a server machine, it's a client machine. So you take this screenshot and your local area connection, what is the configuration, you have it there and you save it. Oops.
No, ma'am, no, this one, the ipconfig command/all that we give in the command prompt.
Yeah, you can use this one as well, no problem. Or you either
Okay,
go
ma'am.
with this page or you run ipconfig/all on your Windows 7. Yes, either way are good. All you need to do this is like 25.25, right? So I'm going to ping this machine 192.168.2.25. This is my client machine,
ਅਸੀਂ
right?
ਸਿੱਧੇ ਸਾਦੇ ਕਿੰਗ ਵੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ
So you
ਬਸ ਸਬਰੀ ਐਸਾ
okay? I don't understand really. You can help me to understand it. When you play a song, so you interpret it as well. Because I'm sorry, I don't. I'm thinking to learn Punjabi. If you guys can teach me, right? So here, you come to this page, run cmd, and from this one, I'm going to type in ping. What you're going to ping? You test ping is a command line utility to test the connectivity. Here, if you simply type in ping, it will give you all the options which you can work with. Right now, we're going to enter the activity 192.127.0.0.1. So that will verify that you configured everything properly, 0 milliseconds, 0% loss. It means the server is properly configured for IP addresses. Then you can ping it the other machine which you like to reach out. So for instance, you want to check the connectivity of your client machine, 192.168.2. Whatever the IP you have it. You don't have to copy my IP address. Just follow the thought, understanding. So this is communicating with my client machine, right? So it indicates 0% loss, means it is good. So you take this screenshot again in your snip tool. And you're going to say, oops. Okay, so you paste here, this is screenshot test, ping test. So you would say here is step, pinging, connectivity check, connectivity check, check. So what you're checking? Ping from server to client machine. So you can type in here ping 192.168, whatever the IP address. Well, it should be according to the instruction. So let me save this document for reference. I'm thinking I won't be finishing it today. Windows. Lab 3 solution. Okay, so you get to there, right? So now you're going to reverse this process. Come to your client machine and check out your connectivity, the either way connectivity, right? So see if you can communicate with 192.168.29. 192.168. So am I right? This is my IP address, not 2.29. Okay. So this is the server 2 for me. So this is from my client machine, okay? Windows 7 client machine. Did I do something wrong here? What's wrong? 192.168.2.29. So apparently looks fine to me. So let me do the loopback test. It's all good. Actually, I have one more DNS server. Okay, I have to put it down, but you guys should be okay. I have 2 DNS server. So I would be removing this server as a DNS role. Yes. So is that good? So the two-way communication, then you come to your other machine, server 1, and verify the same connectivity. Um, I need to turn off one of it so I can get to server 1.
Ma'am, I can ping my client from my server too, but I
Oh, okay.
can't ping.
Yeah, actually, we need to do one more step. Disable firewall. Disable firewall.
Okay, ma'am.
So, yeah, disable firewall on Windows 7. You know how to do that? Or you want me to walk it through? Let me see if I can quickly show you. So you can go to configuration screen of Windows 7. Says param at the bottom.
Then also not working.
Okay. Okay, one more thing you guys need to do. I think I'm running out of time. Let me see if I can quickly do that. Firewall setting on this page. Or you can go to the PowerShell. So just for some time, we can turn it off. That's the quickest solution because that this way is not traffic is not getting through because of the firewall, right? So what we can do, so you can momentarily turn it off, the firewall, and then
কি করতেলে কই কোন যা
It should be good now. Check it out either way. And take the screenshot of this. Is it okay? Did you check it? So pinging from, so you're going to say here,
Hands. Bill.
okay. So you go to this document. And you would say you're pinging to server from client to server machine. You just save your changes and take the screenshot just in case you haven't done it before. Save your work. Repeat this step on the server one. Hello? So you guys repeat this step on the server.
Okay, ma'am.
So the way we communicated with the client machine. So this part, right? So two-way communication between client and server 2. And similarly, two-way communication between server 1 and server 2. All right. Shall we go for attendance now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So how the things are? Did you get done something?
madam.
Hmm?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, well,
Most of you, right? Hopefully. It's a straightforward. Just if you have an understanding of IP addresses from yesterday, that's going to be helpful. So I turn
Excuse me,
off
ma'am.
my, yes,
I wanted to know why did you call out my name?
when did I call out your name?
In the beginning of the class.
Hmm? I need to go for the roll call now.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember, sorry. So here, you were there or not? Maybe some people were asking something. Okay, so let's get for the attendance. Now I'm going to roll call all the people's name. Don't worry, you be one of them. So please pay attention. If you can hear my voice and you hear connected, so try to respond. Some people say, well, my speaker was not working, etc., etc. So then you can type in your response in the chat box. Akashdeep,
present, ma'am.
Amandeep Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Amanveer Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Arjun,
Completely present, madam.
Harshdeep Singh, Gurinder Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Gurleen Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Gurmanjot Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Harmeet Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Jaspal Singh, Jatanpreet Kaur,
Jatanpreet Kaur present, ma'am.
Jobanpreet Singh,
Yes, ma'am.
Jobanpreet Singh number 2,
Yes, ma'am.
Karanbir Singh, Kulvinder Singh, Lafpreet Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Lovepreet Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Manisha,
Present, ma'am.
Manjot Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Mehakdeep Kaur.
Present, ma'am.
Sorry, Manjot Kaur number 2.
Present, ma'am.
Both Manjot are present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Muskan,
Present, ma'am.
Neha,
Present, ma'am.
Parminder, Prinkle Jot,
Present, ma'am.
Rajvinder,
Ma'am.
Robinpreet,
Present, ma'am.
Simarjeet,
Present, ma'am.
Sukhmanpreet,
Present, ma'am.
Sukhpreet Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Sumanpreet Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
okay, Vanshika,
Present, ma'am.
Bhavesh Chopra,
Present, ma'am.
Manvir Singh, Manvir Singh, Sarvapari,
Yes, ma'am.
Sarvapari, Sarvapari is there? You know what? Please don't respond in place of your friend.
Excuse me,
So,
ma'am.
yes.
अच्छा मैं उरे सोचूंगी.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Divjot,
Not ma'am, it's Kulwinder Singh.
Ma'am, Tushar is present.
Actually, ma'am, Kulwinder Singh present. I disconnected my network.
okay.
Yes.
Can you wait until I finish this sequence? Kapil,
Okay, ma'am.
Kapil,
Present, ma'am.
Divjot,
Present, ma'am.
Komalpreet,
Present, ma'am.
Nivjot,
Present, ma'am.
Nivjot number 2, Navneet,
Navneet is present, ma'am.
Tushar,
Present, ma'am.
Mohit, Sahil,
Present, ma'am.
Ranveer,
Present, ma'am.
Tanu, Shehbaz,
ਜੋ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਅੰਦੋਲਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
Present, ma'am.
ਜੀਓ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ नाम साइन करूंगा तुझे पहले तौर पे करूंगा
Shruti. Shruti.
Present, ma'am.
snap it running challenge.
Manisha.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Manish.
Present,
Manisha.
ma'am. Monisha, present, ma'am.
Okay. Shahina.
Present, ma'am.
Excuse me. Harjot.
Present, ma'am.
Karanbir.
Yes, ma'am.
Kamal Paul.
Yes, ma'am. Present.
Vikrant.
Present, ma'am. Vikrant, present, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Parmendra
is present.
Anish.
Present, ma'am. Anistuli present, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, Parmendra is also present.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am. Hello. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, Tannu Saini is also present. Actually, my laptop is shut down because of low battery.
Okay.
Now I'm logging with my phone.
Okay. All right. All done. So check it at your site. Okay. I saved it.
Okay, ma'am.
Who's talking?
If George is present, but his Zoom app is not responding somehow. He's unable to.
I barely understand.
तेरी
you.
आवाज नहीं आउंदी
I barely understand.
Jai
what you're
Mata.
saying. Okay, don't worry too much about your friends. Okay. You guys are too much worried. Don't worry about everybody. I'm here to take care of them. Yes. Yes.
Anavjot Kaur is present, but you marked me absent.
Second Navjot Kaur?
Yes, ma'am. ਸਾਡਾ ਦਿਲ ਜਲਿਆ ਦਿਲਗੀਰਾਂ ਦਾ
क्या बात है? क्या बात है?
ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਹੋ ਹਾਲ ਫਕੀਰਾਂ ਦਾ
वाह.
ਸਾਡਾ
Oh, I
ਨਦੀਆਂ
have.
ਵਿਛੜੇ ਨੀਰਾਂ
Oh, 1 second. Let me finish my attendance. I'm mixing up the names here. Navjot number 2, you mean, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Got it done. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully this session is useful and try to complete the task. I would suggest you better to do it now if you haven't done it. At least all the configuration of the TCP IP on 3 machines and check their connectivity. So I'll continue this part, this rest of the part tomorrow, hopefully. And I'll give you a quiz as well on tomorrow. Okay, thank you for joining me today.
Excuse me,
See you
ma'am.
next
Thank you,
time.
ma'am.
Hello, hello, ma'am.
Better go now.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
Present.
धन्यवाद मैडम जी.
Hope.
ਸਾਡਾ ਹੰਝ ਦੀ
कर लो तू.
Okay, I have to do something by force, you guys. You know,
Excuse
I'm
me, ma'am.
talking. Yes.
Present, Kulvinder Singh.
Kalinda, I mark you. I mark you. Check it out at your site.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, my
You're
day
welcome.
5 attendance. Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, my day 5 attendance is empty.
Day 5. What day today is?
Today day 10.
10. So difficult for me to go back. I'll try if I can. Okay.
Day empty.
Day 5, and you know,
Yes, ma'am.
that's
But
this.
I
Rewind it to difficult. You know, it takes my 30 minutes time to do those things. I wish I have extra time and do all the time, and I'd be fixing attendance for
Okay, ma'am.
everyone.
It's okay.
All right. Take you till. Don't worry. We'll fix it. Okay. We'll figure
Yes,
it
ma'am.
out. Take care of yourself. Bye bye, and see you
Have a
tomorrow.
nice day, ma'am.
You too.
Bye.
P5 जी मेरी भी नहीं लगी यार.
मेरी भी नहीं